All right. Phil is running behind a little bit, so it's 9:00. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. What is everybody up to? It's episode 62 of Snakes and Stogies. Oh, it is a new week. I am glad we are back. Yes, Phil again is late. But we're here. This show is brought to you by Puget Sound Pythons. Definitely some people you need to be following. They do a lot of cool stuff. So they have ball pythons, but they don't do just ball pythons. They've got some green anacondas. They've got some Morelia. They've got some scrubs. They've got some macklets. All kinds of awesome stuff. It is a new month. And if you're in the Snakes and Stogies group, there is a raffle going on right now for a travel case, like 6 Lanceros that I picked out, and then one of these Colibri V cutters, which I absolutely love. I am smoking the Placencia Alma Fuerte this eve, and then maybe Tatuaje 10-year. It's a Saka Squatch beanie, some from Steve Saka of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. When he was at the shop, I managed to squirrel away one, and it's awesome. It's super thick and comfy. Their main office is out of New Hampshire, so it gets cold up there. And so he's like, I don't make thin beanies. He's like, up in New Hampshire, we need thick beanies. And I believe it. It's been a very productive day. I ran down to Savannah, Georgia, Rincon, actually, to be more exact. And they had to get some mice pellet. So there's only one place locally that I can get FRM rodent diet. It's about an hour drive. It's actually not bad. But then I ended up leaving there after picking up the pellet and going to Northern Tool, which I've never been to a Northern Tool before, but it's actually pretty cool. And I got one of those big like Rubbermaid carts. Yeah, Bill, he said Carolinas don't seem to be like thick beanie country, and they're not. It's actually been pretty chilly here. Like the other day it was like 70, and now it's unbelievably chilly. Like we're in like the upper 30s, low 30s actually a couple nights. But yeah, I got one of these guys. Can't really see it. Did that to replace my table. And Phil will probably be able to show you these better. So that was my table that I had originally. And now save myself some room. It kind of forces me to not be so cluttered, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those like chaotically organized people where like things feel like they're everywhere, but that's actually their place. Like it is cluttered, but it's cluttered on purpose, kind of. So this will kind of force me to not keep a bunch of stuff on it and keep it clean. And I feel like we're all in that same boat of we're constantly trying to figure out ways to get the most out of our room, get the most space, use that space as efficiently as we can. And so they had those on sale last week. Unfortunately, I went there today and they're like, yeah, they're not on sale anymore. So I had to pay the extra $50 or whatever. I got that for after tax. It was like $160 and change. You can probably get them cheaper. Controlled Chaos. There we go. Look, it's Darth Sidious. Look at this background. Oh, you can't. It's a Baird's.
Oh, yeah. I saw you did it earlier.
It's amazing.
It's very attractive.
I was just telling everyone how I replaced my little folding picnic table thing with my new cart. And
like a
already
like a Billy Hunt cart,
like one of the Let me see. I'll pull up the picture again. I'll send it to you actually out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So like you see these, like when I worked at Walgreens forever ago, this is what I used. And yeah, it probably will have crap all over it at some point, but you know, when it's a smaller space, it kind of forces you to not clutter it. Because I do like the nice thing is I can pick this up and move it, which I could have done with the table, but this is on wheels. So it's just I can put bins on it. You know, it's got the sort of the wall, so if snakes come out, there's a better chance of containing them briefly. You know, the bears and stuff just like to go everywhere, so it just works out better. It's easier to vacuum in there now because it's on wheels.
Ryan
Dorothy
Cox,
Lapis. That's
I love it.
amazing.
That's actually funny
awesome.
because I'm late because I was cleaning wrinkles enclosures.
Yeah.
They poop a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's.
Yeah, I've actually been super nervous. What's that?
Anything colubrid-esque is gonna.
Right.
It's gonna do it.
Well, that's the rule. If it's a snake with no neck, it's gonna shit everywhere. That's true. You just have to expect it, you know. By the way, Ryan Cox, I'm stealing that Dorothy Lapis.
I like that.
Yes, but I've been a little paranoid. I talked to Billy about it. I talked to Henry about it. I talked to Nipper about it. Because like, I don't really get self-conscious with new animals. If they're mine, if they're other people's, I'm a worrywart because like it's not mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
But these baby rinks, the male is like champion. Just he'll eat anything I put in front of him. He poops, he drinks, he pees, he barely hoods, which is phenomenal.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you. Jeff said the same thing earlier. So thank you. I am back from COVID. So
yes,
you're self-conscious.
Oh no, I was gonna say is, but the female has only eaten once for me, and you know, Nipper's like, you know, don't sweat it, don't fuss, you know, don't be a helicopter mom.
You haven't even had him like a month, right?
Yeah, but like, it's been 3 weeks with no food, and I'm like, man, why is she not like doing her thing? Like when I first got her, I fed her in like the first 3 days, which I know you really shouldn't do, but I was like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. And she scarfed down a pinky, and then now I'm like, what's going on? So I was like, maybe she's dehydrated. So the water dishes I have in there are like porcelain or like really, really fine, soft ceramic that's like coated, and they have like the little lip on it. Because I guess they're the ones that you're supposed to put like super worms in, and the worms can't climb out.
Yeah. So
I like them because when I'm picking up, because I have containers inside of containers, when I pick up the container, it doesn't slosh and spill, right? Well, I guess she doesn't know how to get in there. So I picked her up with the hook and just like placed her face in the water, and she started gulping it down. And I'm like, great. Oh.
Just do like wider ones, but shallower ones.
Yeah, and not spill and be gentle when I pick them up. That's what I have to do because I think she just didn't know it was there, which is crazy because like so many snake species, they can smell the water a mile away. You know, I put fresh water and they just go right to it sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, you think about it. I feel bad because I feel like all I do is compare everything to chondros. But you think about it in terms of chondros, where people are like, you know, they drink the water droplets off their body, and it's like, yeah, like rainfall does trigger a lot of stimuli in those. I still put a water bowl in with mine, and usually an oversized one, for humidity purposes to help sort of keep humidity up without having to, you know, hose them down constantly. But I do notice I do have a few animals that if I spray them, they do drink like crazy, and I think it's just one of those things, you know, where like that's rinks I can see being a species where rainfall would trigger a lot of, you know, a lot of things in them too, because I mean, where they come from, they don't get a ton of rain regularly, right?
Right. And if it is, it's mostly groundwater. It's mostly dew in the morning, you know, microclimate stuff, and I'm sure they're lapping up a lot of dew. This is the female, by the way. This is literally taken like 6 minutes ago.
And how old are those?
Oh, geez, like a month and a half, 3 months.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
What's up, Brent?
What's up, Brent? And that's the male. And like he's just feisty, man. I like him. But it looks like the girl's going to be a little more pretty than he is. But again, these are cell phone pictures from 6 minutes ago. So But I had him in the deli cup, so I was like, might as well have a good opportunity to take close-ups without having to worry too much, So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said. I think it's just one of those things where, like, I'm curious, like, if you misted those, not heavily, just enough, like, would that sort of get them moving? I don't know what rainfall's exactly like where they're at, but
well, I mean, it's almost all of South Africa and a small pocket in southern Zimbabwe, but
okay.
So there's all different climates.
Still not consistent rainfall, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you saw I posted that one picture of it in snow, and that was that picture of it basking in snow was like an hour and a half, 2 hours northwest of Durban. So like I didn't even know they got snow that far south, But
Cox said, "Get those false water covers off." he's fired up today, man.
He is. I love it.
He's looking for a fight.
I love it. Send him the link. Get him in here. He's got the good Turtle Beach headset.
What's new?
Well, should we start off with
the first episode we've done? And
I know. I was gonna say this is episode 62.
62.
Oh well, it does say it at the top of the screen. My fault. Brought to you by the fine folks at Puget Sound Pythons.
I already did all that.
Well, I'm late to the game as usual.
What are you smoking
tonight? We went a little light tonight. Part of the December sampler, I have the Olla de Nicaragua.
Those, dude. Have you had those?
Nope, first time.
Oh man, I am very excited to see what you think about those because I'm firmly planted on the fact that is one of the best Connecticut's on the market right now, like bar none. That is why I put that in that sampler. Those things are just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know you're not like a big Connecticut guy.
Yeah.
But I think this, like for me, you will be happy with it. So
cool. Is it better than the one with the tree on it? The cheapy one.
With the Charter Oak, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're kind of comparing apples to oranges in a sense because you're looking at $7 stick versus that's a $9. I think that's the Robusto. That one's like $8.95. So I guess you're looking at like a $2 difference. But if you're gonna do it, then might as well just get the Hoya there. And I was telling people about the raffle that is going on right now.
Excellent. By the way, can you hear my wind or no? Because it's crazy.
No, not really.
It's like 40 mile an hour right now.
40 mile an hour.
Yeah.
It was like that here yesterday, dude. It was crazy. I had to put the umbrellas down at work and everything. Like I thought they were going to fly away.
I believe it.
It's Bill in here.
Oh, wow. These pictures look great. Am I posting these pictures up?
If you want to, yeah.
I would love to. It'd be my pleasure. By the way, first impressions, very light, very airy.
Yeah.
Good initial Connecticut taste. I'm a little crooked on the burn, but that's all right. What are you smoking tonight? I missed it.
Plasencia Alma Fuerte. So I've had there's a hexagonal one. It's a 60 ring gauge, and it's literally a hexagon, has 6 sides.
Oh, sweet.
Which has been getting a ton of attention on Instagram and stuff. And I smoked it, and it's actually not bad. This blend's pretty good. It's not my favorite out of the 3 that we started carrying at work, but the hexagon thing's kind of a gimmick because as you smoke it, obviously the cigar expands and it no longer becomes a hexagon. It just becomes a regular cylinder. So
they basically lightly box press it, essentially.
They box press it on 6 sides. I don't know. They must have made specific molds for it.
Yeah.
But it's a very heavy cigar, like weight wise. Like when you pick it up, that's kind of the first thing I noticed, especially with that 60. Just how like heavy and dense it was. Yeah, Brent. He said, hit me up for a Louisiana episode. Definitely.
We miss you too, brother.
Anytime you want to jump on, let us know.
Yeah, man.
This is the 52, I believe, or 54. And it's a good blend. We had the Alma del Campo, which to me was the best one out of the 3. The Alma del Fuego, I wasn't crazy about. It basically tasted just like the La Volcata from LFD, which if you're wanting something sort of super strong, super in your face, kind of that just very acidic, very bright, then that's the way to go. But if you're looking for something a little more sort of mellow but complex and that Alma del Campo is definitely the way to go. So
Nice.
So this is sandwiched in between the two. This is the favorite. We only brought in 3 of their stuff, but we brought in different sizes. So
Cool.
I'm in the process of trying all those. So I sent you. I'm gonna send you a picture of the sampler thing. Where the hell did the picture go?
Hold on, I gotta stop for a second because it didn't open it in preview, and I can't switch between pictures. So just hang on a moment.
You're good. You're good.
What the hell is it? Preview. Actually, it looks like it won't. Yeah, it won't let me. Hold on.
You broke it.
I don't know why it's doing this. It's not letting me. Okay, if I do it like, all right, that's good. I'll do it like that. Okay. Apple's like, it's not an iPhone.
A Kentucky fire cured Cox. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I got to replace my table. If you've worked in retail in any capacity, there's likely you've worked with these before. So
yeah. And by the way, Cox, I love the Kentucky Fire Stick.
I'm not crazy about them.
Dude, I'm so happy you gave me that little handful.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're not bad. It's a nice change up. But I don't know. I meant, like, when we first got them in, I liked them and I smoked them on a fairly regular basis. And over time, I lost my taste for them. I don't know. They just don't do it for me, man.
I got you. You know, we smoke the same stuff so often that it is good to just change it up. I mean, that shit, I'm smoking a Connecticut tonight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Justin's room.
So this was before. Hey, it's Billy.
Wabami.
I emptied my trash can. That's after. And everyone, apparently, the only thing people can see are those pictures on the wall, all crooked. And
now, I won't lie. Having been in that room, when I go to this picture, I thought there was something. Can you see my mouse or no? No, you cannot.
Let's see. I can't.
Okay. So this table in the middle that has the Chlorhex and the sprayer and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that being like a bigger rack or something. Was it always just that table?
Which
the table?
No, I mean that's what I've been using since we moved in.
Okay, so maybe I'm just shorter and it looks bigger to me. But yeah.
Well, it's also like the wide angle version of my camera too, just to kind of give you a little bit better perspective.
Yeah. But the room looks great, man. It looks crisp. It looks clean. I don't give a shit that the pictures are crooked.
You know what's funny is, like, right above that picture on the ceiling, there's even more crooked ones that I just added the other day.
Did you just send me this picture tonight, or is this old?
Yeah, that's the February raffle.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, you're looking at like $170 worth of stuff. It's going to be benefiting US Arc, so you get that Calibri cutter, that Boveda pack there on the left, and then a Skyflower Lancero, a Wiseman Maduro Lancero from Foundation Cigars, a Rosa Sharon, and a Jacob's Ladder from Southern Draw.
Nice.
A Herrera Esteli Connecticut Broadleaf Lancero, and then a Brother of the Leaf Lancero. So if you're in the Snakes and Stogies group, 2 slots, $20 a piece. We'll draw a winner either when those fill up, or actually on next week's episode, we will be pulling a winner. So
yeah, man. That's like an awesome array of skinny sticks.
Well, I was like, Lanceros I've said it on here before.
They don't get enough love, man.
You know, that's a very underrated size. So that's pretty much all the Lanceros we carry at work. Out of all those cigars in that humidor, we don't carry a ton of Lanceros just because they historically don't sell very well because people think they're some sort of a ripoff. But I assure you they are not. That is what all the... Ryan, the raffle is live. All the instructions and everything you need to do are on that post in the group. So I went ahead and opened it up to 2 slots per person this round instead of like last time where it was like, let's wait a week and then open it up. Like, let's just go ahead and, you know, get the money raised for US Arc and get her done.
I love it. Oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't click to the next one. I'm really glad I didn't click to the next picture.
Cox asked, "What's in the 4x2x2?" If he's talking about the one with the plants in it, that's the Tandem bar. That's the cage from Black Box, which I did a review of in the latest issue of Herpetoculture magazine, which is available on issue on our website, herpetoculturemagazine.com. Phil right there. There we go. Got Strophurus geckos, which are, dude, I want some now.
Yeah.
I texted Meeker the other day. I was like, dude, I want some now. I gotta I don't know. I'm gonna spend some more time really thinking about it. But to have like a tank of those, I think, because if you've seen the setups, let me see if I can find a picture. The setups just look cool. Like they're not super packed out with vegetation and stuff. Like they're actually kind of bare bones, and it's neat because they blend in with the sticks. Like there's not any greenery in there, but the way they're set up, like they blend in with those sticks. So it's like almost like they don't even need them. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love the one setup that's got like just white sand with like the dead bush.
Yeah.
Like that's just like a black background. Grass. Yeah, that looks so good. It's funny you mentioned Meeker's hit me up about when we were talking about Cordillidae, and he wants Pletosaurus broadleyi, and I was like, dude, I don't know anybody in the U.S. or even in Europe that has him right now. But I sent him to a couple Facebook groups. He's like, I don't have Facebook. I was like, all right, well, we'll find you some. So I put some feelers out for him. We'll see what happens.
Let me see. I'll just open up the PDF. Strawberry.
This kinetic is surprisingly really good.
Told you.
I know. It's really good.
Scrolling down. Graham Battison did a really good job with the Blood Python article.
Yeah, gorgeous pictures. Love the
Graham's the man. Screen share.
Damn, look at that bear.
So yeah, I mean you can see it here. See if I can zoom in on it. I mean it's like that's pretty. No, Acrobat, stop. Like you can see the lizards right there, but at first glance, like you wouldn't be noticing those, man.
No, it looks awesome.
But that's cool. I mean, they're small. You can keep them like in a group of like 2 or 3. And I'll bet you there's probably a third one in there somewhere that we just can't see. But like it would be just I don't. You know what it reminds me of? You remember that movie The Cell?
Yeah.
It just reminds me like the weird desert dream things that they were in. That's what it reminds me of, and they almost look like the things out of that movie too. So
yeah, they're super demonic and witchy. Love them.
Witchy is a good word.
Witchy, yeah. What's up, Danny?
Danny Klein. If you read the article, Meeker talks about how there's about 7 species in that genus in the States in the hobby. And I mean, they're all pretty freaking gnarly looking, man. Like, let's see. Chrome. Like,
Danny says you got to get rid of the frogs first.
That's the coolest. The coolest crested gecko.
Dude, it's the Darth Maul of geckos.
Oh, it is the Darth Maul of geckos.
It really is.
And I love these because they look almost fake.
Oh yeah.
Like the eyes are so bright. It's like that's not real, but they are, and they're it wasn't that long ago that these things were insanely expensive, and now they're reasonable, like $300 or $400 depending on the species, depending on the size and age. That's silly.
Yeah, we saw a bunch at Daytona.
Did we?
Yeah, there was a bunch of golden tails at Daytona.
I missed that.
There was a good handful of juvenile lone males, and then there was like a bunch of trios. I mean,
They're
crap. Danny and I were looking at them.
I don't remember that, but there was a lot going on that weekend. So
there was a lot going on that weekend, and
especially
we're
if you were
halfway there.
TCT
Man. We're halfway there.
We are. So those things are cool. Like I said, they're freaking cool, man. Like,
yeah,
Australia has awesome snakes. It doesn't help that they have awesome geckos too. You know, I mean, look at that. Yeah. Like blood red eyes. So to read more about keeping those, herpetoculturemagazine.com. It is on the website ready to go. You can order hard copies if you so choose. Speaking of Daytona, it is official. We have a table.
Ooh. Tell more.
I mean, there's nothing to tell at the moment. Basically, Billy has 2 tables. He's going to have one for Uwabami, and then he's going to have one for the magazine and THN. I am planning on figuring out what I need to get together to bulk order. Probably just all the issues that are on MagCloud, just because those are already formatted for that print size and everything like that, and that's going to be the least headache-inducing route to go. So we have to get you a badge, and like I said, just got to figure out, like, we're going to have some t-shirts, like some merch. See if I can get Phil or Billy to get some Snakes and Stogies and THN shirts made too, because honestly, like, the Teespring stuff, it's okay, but like the shirts that Billy's made, like, the graphics are holding up freakishly well. Like, I was not expecting those things to last, honestly. And granted, the Teespring ones don't last forever either, but the ones that Billy's been making himself, like, I mean, those things had.
Well, like, I gave away a bunch of Net First Initiative shirts, and I had, like, my roommate, for example. I know for a fact he wears it at least twice a week. He washes it at least twice a week. It still looks as good as the day I gave it to him. So, like, Billy's craftsmanship is exquisite. So I'm excited.
Well, I think that process is just it's built to last. You know, that vinyl, that doesn't. You know, I think that takes a long time to really start to actually crack and sort of degrade. But
yeah,
compared to what you get now, you know, it's solid. So might even have some hoodies. I want to say he was talking about looking into some hats and stuff too. So we'll see. But
oh yeah,
trying not to spread ourselves too thin, but
it's going to be epic. I love it. I love it.
Danny keeps talking about the Chewy. Like, I told her, I want the Chihuahua. Like, I would get back into Geckos for Chihuahuas, and I would get back into Geckos for Chihuahuas. So, oh, there's Billy.
The Chihuahua. For all my Bill Burr fans out there.
Why is Billy? How come you're not in here with us? What are you doing?
Yeah, Billy.
Clearly, you're not working.
Click that link, Billy.
Slacker. So, table's going to be good. I'm asking Billy all these stupid questions about it because I've never vended Daytona. So I don't know how it works. And he's like, it's fine. We got it. I'm like, do we need to tell Wayne? No, don't worry about it. It's fine. We don't have to do anything.
I have vended Daytona a few times too. You didn't ask me.
Well, Billy's already got the table. So
I know. Billy and I are designing
somebody. Oh, are you? So I don't have to worry about any of that.
You'll have more than 2 cents. We need your.
Well, input's fine, but having to actually do it, that's the fact that I don't.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We got it, pal.
I like that.
So, I was listening. It's funny. What?
My taste buds are still not 100%, so things are still tasting a little odd.
That's right. That's right.
I need some coffee.
Denny says if we need a woman's touch, she can handle it.
Put like grandma curtains or something on it, like the weird lacy looking.
I was literally going to say, like, what are those things you put? Like, it's like a embroidered coaster. What are the a dually? No, dowley.
Crochet?
No, what's dual? I think it's a dually, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like a grandma coaster, but like crochet, lacy, like snowflake looking motherfuckers, right? I don't know. I think it's called
I guess
dually. Somebody correct me in here. There's live group chat, for Christ's sake. Oh, I am right.
Do that.
It's a dually. Not to be confused with a duvet, which I didn't know what the hell that was until I was like 33 years old.
Even more doily? Is that it?
It's a doily. That's what it is.
No. Doily.
Mr. Warwick for the win.
Look at that. Even Bills. I guess they go to Hobby Lobby in their spare time.
They do. Dude, Hobby Lobby has the best fake plants of all time. The problem is,
speaking of, I woke up. My first day of freedom from the house was on Thursday last week. And so the first play, I was like, hey, I get to leave the house. I'm going to Wally World.
Yeah, you are.
First place I'm going to go is Walmart because I need stuff. And they have these big things of fake ferns that I use for a lot of stuff that are like $5. Which
are awesome.
They are great. And I use them to pack out my Boiga and Gonyosoma setups. And Phil does have PMS. And of course, I get to Walmart and they don't have any. So the next best thing was I say the next best thing. Other people would say it's the first best thing. They had some cheap pothos. So I got a pothos that's now with the Nauta, and then I put a philodendron verrucosum in with it, and that is probably not going to make it. That's like an expensive philodendron that was in a tank with frogs that didn't have frogs in it, and I've killed it. It was thriving in the neglected frog tank. And of course it's dying. The pothos is like rocking and rolling. It's already growing like crazy. So
nice.
Go figure. This
was rapidly constructed by the nice people, the Puget Sound Pythons. I just can't. I love you freaks. That's awesome. That's the new wallpaper on my computer, I swear.
It should be.
It will be.
God, dude, that Baird's in that background, man. That's like, to me, that's like the ideal Baird's rat.
Oh yeah, there's that gunmetal silver.
Like just silver metal snake.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, the eyes are stellar. Show that snake one more time. Come on, minimize us.
I don't think I can. It doesn't give me that option, but I will actually.
What, Ryan Cox? What are you blessing me for? I'm confused.
They're saying something about you and PMS, and
yeah, that's all right. It happens to the best of us.
Let's see if I can share this bad boy.
Yeah, I also love that picture because of the focal points.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dominique is back. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. And just the orange, just the lava in between the scales.
Took the words out of my mouth. The lava in between. Ugh. Just a hint, just a blushing of tangerine in the eye.
If I had to guess, that's going to be like a Loma Alta sort of animal, just because that's sort of the hallmark of Baird's, or like those Loma Altas that have that just silver with the crazy orange in the middle. So that's my guess. Billy asked, do I know the origin of the Hypo Baird's? And I don't. I want to say there's an article on it somewhere. I'll have to hunt it down. It's definitely, I think it comes from the Texas Baird's, not the Mexicans. But one thing I am actually thinking about, maybe thinking about at some point, is pairing my albino, which actually we'll go ahead and clear that up right now too. Hypo and albino get interchangeably used in Bairds a lot. They're actually albinos. Like it's I think it's T plus. It's like a like almost like a caramel albino. So it doesn't have. It's not like a true albino in the sense. Like there is some sort of darker pigment here and there. I have to look it up in Dusty Rhodes' book again because he sort of explains it briefly in a paragraph. But basically, hypo and albino get used interchangeably a lot. It is actually albino, and I don't know where it came from, but I'm sure that information exists out there somewhere. That was thought to be the only like morph in Baird's, but I think it's Tim Splucker has an anery, or what's thought to be an anery, and that thing is freaking cool, man. Let me see if I can find it.
Send it.
It's so slow. All right. Just gonna look it up on my phone because it's faster. I'm afraid my computer's gonna crash.
It's fine.
And I think that is, as far as we know, like the only anery Bairds in existence. Not to say that some have been produced in the past, and maybe either people just didn't tell anybody, or maybe they just disappeared into the ether, like into obscurity. But as far as I'm aware, this is the only one that is out there, and I'm pretty sure Tim's the only one that has it. And I don't know if there's any more. I don't know if he produced it. I'm just gonna find the picture and save it and send it to you there, Philip.
Do it.
There we go. Like this with either that albino or the Loma Altas, like I'd be so curious to see what that does. And I mean, I say that as a guy. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have a red pupil, Cox. It's more just like an orangish. But I love, I mean, the albinos are nice because they like their scales look like they're made of pearl. Like what's normally that silver color is like this pearl white. It's not stark white. It's just this sort of.
So before I put this up here, I'm just going to preface, when Ryan Cox sees this animal, he's going to immediately fall in love because I have never seen a snake that looks quite like this. And it very much reminds me of a Cape file snake.
Yeah, that's probably a good.
Boom.
So, as far as we know, that's the only anery that exists.
Black eyes like a doll's eyes.
I would love to have more information on it. I have a feeling if I messaged him and asked him, I probably wouldn't get much information. So, I don't know. We'll see. But just like Billy, like I'm curious as far as like the origin, what counties, what areas did that come from genetically, and whether or not it's like other aneries, which I believe is just a simple recessive. But I'm not a genetics guy. I couldn't tell you if it is or isn't, but I'm assuming. So when it comes to morphs and stuff, I'm a complete idiot. I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're not morph people, so it's difficult at times.
So this is I guess it's kind of like not Baird's, Brettles in a sense, where it's like we don't have a whole lot of morphs and stuff, but like with things like this popping up, and then you have the albinos, that's like we're just scratching the surface. Like this sort of does open the doors more to what else could happen, other things that could come of it. So
Cox says that's just an anery tessera.
Yeah, well, it's also not a super dwarf retake, you nerd.
Retakes. So, yeah.
Have you? We talked about the Gilas last week.
Don't even get me started.
Like you've kind of
yeah.
missed your window.
No, I don't think I did everything right. I mean, maybe I'm second guessing myself. You know, Rob told me I did everything right, and Reed told me I did everything right. But the problem is I didn't. I know. I know Rob. When he told me that I did everything right, he meant the way that I went about it was correct, and that I was, you know, helicopter mom, and I was overreacting, and he's probably 100% correct. But I know for a fact I did not cool them down enough. I did not have them down cold enough. I did not have the daily increase and then decrease. And I think the girl is she's just like, I don't want to do it this year. I'm out. So I'm going to try, like, probably, what's today? Today's Monday. I'll probably try 2 more times this week. And if I don't get any legitimacy out of it, I'm just going to wait till next year and and build a real chiller, because, yeah. And Brad, your weather's all kinds of funky. So, like, I imagine yours woke up. So, unless you forced them to wake up, you know. So, I think it also has to do with the fact that, you know, I'm having really, really weird weather here. And even though the room is climate controlled, they still know what's going on outside to a certain point.
Yeah, like the pressures and stuff change.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like 54 right now. And yesterday was 86. So, I don't know. Ryan Cox says, "Am I a tapes or CD kind of guy?"
Don't do it. You're walking right into it. You're walking into it's a trap. Don't do it. I know where this is.
It's a trap. Yeah. I'm not touching that one.
Cough, cough, cough.
I muted it. Could you hear me?
No, I just made that sound effect for everyone else.
Oh, okay.
I've been smoking cigarettes since I was 7.
No. It hasn't been 7. Jesus.
Okay, 7.5. Sorry.
I do tell people that my voice is not. First of all, it doesn't sound this bad earlier in the day, and in the second time, it's because I talk all day for a living. And then I sounded marginally like this when I was like 15. So.
You came out the womb with a beard in that voice.
It's not from smoking, I swear.
Brad said no force, they ate right away. Which, speaking of eat right away, you know what's been weird is of those Cyanea, I have one baby that has eaten every time I offered it a mouse. Like,
why are you saying it like that?
I haven't had to do anything with that snake. I literally drop in a live pinky or even a frozen thawed one. It's taken a frozen thawed for me too, and it disappears. It's gone.
That's it, man. Blessed.
And then the other one has been kind of like, it took a frozen thawed one randomly, and then the third one is still like, you're gonna have to force me because I'm not eating a damn thing. So hold back. That one actually is not. That the one that is eating regularly is actually going to go to our boy Thomas Irvin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hello.
What's up, princess?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
I'm just getting ready for bed.
Because we got school from home because we're in quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Patient 0.
Damn it. Thank you.
Too cute. Too freaking cute.
Yeah, so that one's going to go to Thomas. The other two, I'm planning to send to Terry Burwell.
Nice.
And then I have that other clutch hatching in March. So, you know, everyone's like, are you going to hold any back? And it's like, I really don't plan to. I have my pair. If something interesting pops out, like something that maybe looks a little different, maybe I'll hold on to it. You know, I don't know. When it comes to those, I mean, I really don't see you know, unless you have a pair that's just got a lot of blue to them or a lot of black. I just, you know.
Yeah, I also feel like that's a species. And before I say this, I don't mean to diminish the amazingness and the colors and the vibrance of the species, but excuse me, I feel like a species like that is very monochromatic.
There's not a lot of variation.
Yeah, monochromatic. Like, it's not banded. It doesn't have stripes. It doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, my male does have like a good bit of a black. Like, he looks interesting, but the female is just green.
Yeah, but the flecking is there, but it's not something that you're going to necessarily intentionally breed for.
It's something I would if I saw, like, if I had another female that looked like him, I would pursue that. But I don't know. It's just one of those. It's a species where they all look like a cyanea. It's so. But yeah, I mean, as Jeff is saying, they're so beautiful. You don't need anything more, and he's right, because like, very true. My male has a lot of blue in his face, and it's very it's hard to pick up sort of on camera. But after they shed, it's like, good God,
And dude, the eyes remind me of like a gecko's eyes, like just crazy cryptic eyes. Awesome. Do you have recent pictures of the babies or no?
I had 2 of the 3 shed the other day.
Throw them up, bro.
Like this one that's been eating really well. I mean, knock on wood. I don't think that one's going to give Thomas too much trouble. We'll see. I don't know. I'm sending it now. And then the Bairds that I got at the Atlanta show that Casey bought me, because it's good to have friends. Yeah, I mean, Billy's right, and he said hold back some. You have backups in case something happens to the adults and build a group. That's true. But even then, I mean, we're talking about I'd be holding on to like 2 max. I'm sure I could just inbreed them into oblivion until I get an albino or something.
So I was going to
breed.
I was going to throw up the picture of the video, of the Timors eating, but I'm on the older laptop and it won't translate the video from the new iPhone. So that's kind of poopy. But I do have pictures, but the pictures are anticlimactic. It's just a snake eating a mouse,
Why are you using the old laptop when you have the new one?
Because the old laptop is dirty and beat up and scratched up, and it's a bigger screen, and it has a conventional headphone jack. So if it gets ash on it, or if the sprinklers start going off or whatever, I really don't care. Yeah.
Billy said, or trade for new bloodlines, which is also a good point. So
that's a good point.
We'll see. I'd rather trade for other Boyga. Cough, it's cough. True. Mangroves, Melanota, Dendrophila, cough, cough. Divergens, cough.
Is Matt and/or Terry listening?
I don't know. Terry did listen to the Rob Stone episode, but I doubt he's here live.
Seeing as how I'm babysitting so many different animals for individuals, which is not a complaint, just a fact. I want to throw this up there. This is one of the radiateds. This is one of the radiateds that it belongs to Billy. Where is the photo? Here's the photo. And it just shed, and I love the little white stitching. It's awesome. It just reminds me of a quilted sweater,
Oh yeah, I dig those, man. I love the lines around the eye, which I'm sure is why they're called radiateds. But
yeah,
that just, I don't know. That's like one of those iconic Asian species.
Those lines, Billy loves those lines.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
I don't know. I kind of like how it just stops right here and it doesn't fade away. But then again, it also annoys me because it just stops abruptly. Right? It doesn't fade off into the distance.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all
it's almost. It's like someone just took an eraser and was just like, meh.
Got bored and stopped.
Yeah.
Miguel said, in your camera settings, go to formats. Make sure the most compatible is selected. Apple uses a weird file type when taking pictures and videos.
All right, so camera settings, format. Hang on.
Like showing your grandpa how to turn on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you're right.
Grandpa.
Hmm.
Hello.
Do something.
What is that?
It's a drawing.
Look at this.
Pretty.
Wonderful.
It's a drawing
It's a drawing.
It's very
that
attractive.
I made.
This is art.
I color inside the lines. And I used to scribble.
Dom wants to know what 6 times 4 is.
That right there made my night.
She's just bailing. She's like, bye. Henry said those lines make them taste better. What is 6 times 4? 24. Jesus. Yee. Math was never my forte.
I can't even find the camera settings in this laptop.
What OS is it running?
Oh, I don't know. It's old. Hold on a second.
Snow
About
Leopard.
this Mac. Oh, I'm on 10.11.6. El Capitan.
That's not the newest one.
No, it's not.
We are on 11.1 Big Sur.
Okay.
I don't know where they come up with the names for these things. Like the whole cat thing back in the day, that made sense. But now it's like El Capitan, Big Sur, like SUR. Like it's literally Big Sur. I'm like, what is that even? I mean, maybe it's a tech thing and I don't know, but
I think it's just a California thing and we don't know.
maybe.
Don't California my Florida, bro. Well, I give up on this because it's killing our show. Sorry. I'm back.
Mike said it's 24. It's a confirmation.
I like Brad. 64. No, 46.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Right? Oh, man.
So
Oh, man.
while I was sick, I brought out the Bairds and Corns from Cooling.
Nice.
I was gonna wait until Valentine's Day, but I was reading the Bairds chapter for the like 100th time in the Subok book, and it said like 60 days, and I was pretty much right at around 60 days, a little over, a little under. So I decided to go ahead and pull them. A, out of boredom, and B, like they've done their time. I think they got cool enough for long enough, and I've been feeding them. So I fed them once. I need to feed them again. I was going to do it today, but I didn't have time. So excited to see what will happen this year.
Yeah, man. It's good.
Jance and I are kind of the big goal for the year.
As they should be.
Like, gonna try and make something happen with those. I'm gonna move that female into the what was that female's chondro setup. My biggest concern, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if we talked about it on air or off air with Rob Thursday, is like kind of what we talked about with moving snakes into upgrades and then them struggling and not adjusting well. So that's Jance and I do strike me as a species that if you do make any major change, they're probably not going to take well to it. But at the same time, I can also see them really just for whatever reason doing fine and not really caring as long as all the stuff is there and sort of in the general same placement as it was in the previous tub.
Right.
So interested to see what happens there. I did put the male in with the female for it's about a week, couple weeks ago. But when I pulled him, they were in completely different hides. I don't know if anything happened there. I've been kind of waiting to see if a shed randomly pops up on the female. So We'll see. I do notice the male is starting to get a lot more black coming in, like in the back where they fade from that cream to that black color. He's got a lot more black coming in. So
now they don't have any kind of seasonal darkening or anything, do they?
No, I mean, given where they come from, they'd have a wet and dry season. Like you could probably food cycle them. Everything I've read said that you can pretty much breed them year round. What's interesting is like double clutching and multiple pairings of a female are actually pretty common in the oxycephalum, so the red-tailed green rats. But in Jansenii, it seems like they just pair once a year, like one clutch 1 year. So thought that was kind of interesting. And I don't think it's getting the eggs isn't what I'm kind of worried about. It's incubation. Like that seems to be the biggest challenge, is that sweet spot of humidity. Making sure they're not getting too dry, making sure they're not getting too wet. But I'm aiming to pretty much do exactly what I've been doing with those Boiga eggs. I mean, given that they're operating in very similar sort of habitats and things, I think that might work well. We'll see. I mean, there's a guy, he's on Instagram. I should look it up. It's like Sawfish Reptiles. He breeds a lot of really cool stuff, and I actually really want to get him on the podcast. Let me see. He recently hatched out some Jansenii not that long ago, and I asked him how that was, and he said they're actually not that hard to do. Like the internet kind of tells you that they're really difficult and hard to get babies out of, but apparently that's not the case. So we're gonna find out. I think he's produced them multiple times, so we'll see.
Nice.
Phil looks like what's the guy from Star Wars? The really old evil guy.
Emperor Palpatine.
Theme of the night, huh? Theme of the night.
I mean, I said it looked like Darth Maul. I thought that was cooler, but
Hey,
yeah.
Apparently, you get old guy.
Emperor Palpatine.
I liked Darth Lapis the most.
Darth Lapis is going to be my.
Get that as a tattoo, dude.
If I ever get back into gaming, that's going to be my screen name. Darth Lapis.
I think it's something with the mustache.
Palpatine did have a mustache.
I know, but it's like, I don't know.
He was old and wrinkly.
He was old and wrinkly, but you're not old and wrinkly.
Well, thank you.
You're giving me the vibe.
Digging.
Thank you. Sounds like a backpedal to
a
me.
deep hole. Yep.
What is it?
Tongue shovel.
Doing the guinea shuffle. If only I had Jedi powers.
Something dark side. Thank you, Dallas. I am glad to be feeling better.
Hey, what's up, Vic?
Yeah, Vic is here too.
Ooh, okay, I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Bye. Tell her to bring you ice cream. I want ice cream. Justin's muted because he doesn't want us to hear his home life.
I was trying to get her to bring me some water. I'm thirsty.
Oh, how funny would it be if you were actually asking her for ice cream?
I told her you wanted ice cream, but she ignored me.
Of course she did.
Sorry,
if I was there, she would be a wonderful host and she would provide me with ice cream.
Brad says he hasn't touched a game since Atari.
That's amazing, Brad.
Damn. I have. Vic asked if I've seen any of Cloud Kalubert's videos. I did. I saw him filming at Daytona, so I checked out those videos when he did it. And then Phil saw those grow out bins that I have for mice, the white ones that I got from Reptile Basics. I came across those through his video, and that's what inspired me to go get some. So
yeah, those things are awesome.
I love them, dude.
Yeah.
I was telling everybody when you got here, like I spent 3 hours earlier today in Georgia, down in Rincon and Savannah, getting rodent supplies. We already talked about that.
Oh.
Not like that. They saw it. They like it. I like it.
I like it too.
I feel like I missed something.
Red velvet cakes.
My cart.
Oh, the cart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I can pull it out and vacuum, and the carpet looks brand new and nice and not crusted with bedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vic said he got a pair of Xanthic Subox, which is awesome.
Nice.
Bomb, which speaking of Subox, I sent Chris his Christmas Mountain Alternate today.
Do you need more water, sir?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I saw Vic put up those milk snakes today. Those are stellar looking. Stellar.
Matt Mosin gave me peek with Pac-Man. I will say, when I was sick and stuck at home, I don't think I've played that much Grand Theft Auto since I was about 13.
Nice. I actually went to Dave & Buster's recently on a date, and what
are those like?
Oh, it was a shit show. Normally, or because of COVID?
Just in general. I've never been. Are they
they're,
like?
They're a lot of fun.
An adult Chuck E. Cheese.
It's an adult Chuck E. Cheese, and I'll tell you, the one that I went to was chock full of children, which in the past has not been the case for me. Because you figure you're going there on like a Friday night for like, let's say, a date. You're going there at 9 o'clock, after dinner kind of thing, to get drinks and play video games. And there's just kids running everywhere. Maybe that's just a Miami thing. I don't know. But I'll tell you, we did not stay long because it was not exactly COVID friendly, if you catch my drift. People had masks, but still, like, they're not sanitizing games and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I did play Pac-Man for the first time in 20-something years, and that game was really hard.
Yeah.
like it speeds up. I was like, what the hell? I don't remember that.
Kind of is. It's a little difficult.
Yeah.
Tom said to you, bring her to Dave & Buster's before or after you chop down a tree together.
That's hilariously horrible. I didn't chop the tree down. That wasn't me. Like people were like, oh, I have this friend, and no, and it's really me. I mean, it's not me. No, it was not me. It was actually my friend. Anyway. And I played a video game where you sit in the booth and you have the laser gun and you're shooting zombies and the thing rumbles and makes noise in your ears. And that thing was scary, man. I'm not about all that zombie shit anymore.
It's too realistic now.
Yeah, like shit popping out of me. It's like, ugh. See, that's why I don't go to like Halloween Horror Nights at Disney or Universal or anything like that. Because
I'm not big on like because
I'll stab someone.
Yeah, I mean, well,
in the neck.
My problem is like when I get scared, I just like throw a fist out. Don't know where it's gonna go. Don't know where it's gonna land. I just throw one. Yeah. And like Katie's, I accidentally. Well, I guess it was accidental. But
just tell the story.
I chopped Katie in the throat one night because she jumped out and scared me, and my hand just randomly shot out as a complete response. Yeah, and I mean, she was laughing as she was like
choking.
Oh yeah,
that's horrible. Oh god.
Danielle's here. She's seen me do it. I think I punched Danielle too. She jumped out and scared me, and I just throw a punch. 1-2
combination. Because that's going to stop this.
Like that's like that video of that kid that pops out of the trash can, and then that kid like turns around and just absolutely decks him, just out of like a pure instinct response.
Yes.
Like that's it. That's what it is.
It was like in high school or whatever. He like pops out of a recycling bin. Yeah, I remember that.
So that's why I don't do like haunted houses and stuff where there's people like everyone loves like we have Scarowinds. Like Carowinds is the closest park we have. So they do Scarowinds every year in Halloween, and it's a big deal, and everyone, loves that. So I ain't down with it.
And Ben, I don't know if it was the one with the heart monitor because I was too busy shooting off screen to reload and worried about getting a slap in the face by demonic zombies. So that was not a thought in my mind. Clearly, I was not actually playing the game. And then you have that thought go through your mind. It's like, do I get more points than the girl? Do I not get more points than the girl? Do I let her win? Do I not let her win? I think
all bets are off.
We played a hunting game. We played a hunting game where it's like, you're in Africa shooting kudu, or you're in Alaska and you're looking for muskox or some shit. I don't know. And I'm actually aiming with the plastic gun. And I was getting points. I wasn't doing good because I'm horrible at games like that. But she definitely was not pleased the fact that I had like 12 points and she had 0. But that's okay. I felt bad.
That's life in the NFL.
Yeah, right?
Sorry, kid.
It's life in the Bushveld.
I think there's a reason we don't have one of those here in Beaufort, because of the Marine Corps recruiting depot. Paris Island, and I feel like that would... You get a bunch of drunk Marines and a Dave & Buster's, man. I feel like it's just an absolute free for all.
Yeah,
we have a Buffalo Wild Wing here, and I feel like that's what it gets like on a Friday night, especially if there's a fight, like Conor McGregor, like a UFC fight night or something like that. It probably like place is already loud enough as is. I'll bet you it's just an absolute nut house.
Yeah, just a shit show of drunken shenanigans and fighting.
Cheese curds.
I don't understand that. It's so gross to me, man.
What's
It's
Billy
just
said,
like
I never let Anita win.
Billy's a savage. Fucking love Billy.
Cheese curds, man.
It's gross, is what it is.
What do you mean it's gross? It's fried cheese.
It's not fried cheese. Isn't it like rotten cheese?
No, it's just
It's
literally
curd.
like balls of fried cheese.
I thought it was like rotten cheese, like curd,
No.
like curds and whey.
I mean, if
'Cause
it
the-
is,
The curds from the whey are disgusting.
I don't know. I don't think so.
What was
I'm not a
Little Miss
chef.
Muffet?
I just know
Little
they're
Miss
good.
Muffet. Little Miss Muffet was a dirty, gross bitch eating them curds and whey. Along came a spider, and flicked her in the forehead, and said, "Stop eating rotten dairy."
Brad said went to a Dave & Buster's one time down in Denver, never again. How is that Connecticut?
It's exquisite. I just relived. I'm at the back third now, and I was trying to pick out the notes in the middle, and I'm a middle note kind of guy, like second, third, and it's funky, man. Like I can't put my finger on it, but it's still light. It's still airy. It's
But
not
like
bitter.
flavorful.
It's flavor. It's not bitter at all in the least capacity.
Yep.
And like, I almost want to. It almost has like an almond butteriness to it. Almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like
To get into cigar speak, I guess for this episode, like you see that in magazines and stuff all the time with cigar reviews, magazines, online reviews, whatever. Like they have their little section where they list the notes and stuff like that. And to me, because I mean, like general ones like that, like you get a lot of cigars that have like a leathery sort of like a leathery note. So it tastes like the
Right.
smell of leather, I guess is the best way to explain it.
Sure.
Like cedary, like woody, like nuts, like almonds, like some spice. Those are all fine. I don't have any issues with those. It's when they get broken down into like, I don't know the best way to describe it. Like oddly specific to where, it's just kind of ridiculous. Where they're like, I get hints of, Godiva dark chocolate from the year 2000. Like aged, like it's when you get into stuff. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Or like, lightly salted Moroccan chestnut.
Yeah.
It's like,
stuff like
excuse me, what? Like seriously, the more I think about it, me saying almond butter, I think almond butter is a pretty good.
It's creamy. I mean, it's a creamy cigar.
Yeah, exactly. It is a creamy.
So when
cigar.
you add that almondiness to it, that's you kind of get that.
Yeah, and obviously we have different points of our tongue that receive different tastes. You know what I mean? Like sours one part, sweets one part. And I like it when I can get multiple notes from one draw. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just I don't just taste tobacco. I don't just taste chocolate. I don't just taste the spice.
Well, the other, I mean, the other issue I have with that, and I know I've talked about it before, is like when you put those notes in there, there's almost like a confirmation bias. Like if I told you that cigar is going to be a little peppery, like it's going to be like white pepper.
Sure.
Now your brain is going to be looking for white pepper, and I can almost guarantee you it's going to find it. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, it tastes like white pepper. And so like when people ask me what a cigar tastes like, I don't like to tell them like that kind of stuff. It's like, if you tell them that, they're going to taste it. Like, it's going to happen. You know, just because their brain's going to be doing like that placebo effect on them.
Sure.
You know, so I tell people like general, like the large, like I guess I break it down almost like a pyramid. So like you have those base notes, which are going to be the bigger obvious ones, like creamy, almonds, maybe some pepper, and then it'll get broken down a little further. And then you get to that smaller section that they, you know, the magazines and the reviewers talk about, where it's like, you know, the salted Moroccan chestnuts and like honey and dates and weird stuff like that. I don't know, but
yeah, and certain things, if I smoked the cigar and I was like, that was good, I got a lot of flavor out of that. And then I read the notes as like, I'm like right now I've got like a little bit left. I read the notes in that last third of the smoke or that last quarter of the smoke. I'll read it and I'll go, you know what? They're right. I can get that. I can get this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if someone told me, oh man, you're going to like that. It's, you know, Cameroon, but it's got a good amount of spice to it. The placebo is still possibly there in my mind, but it's not nowhere near as bad as if they're like, you're going to get notes of white chocolate and, you know, Moroccan sea salt. And like, then my mind is going like, where's the salt? Where's the salt? Where's the,
well, that, yeah. And I mean, I don't like telling people those notes specifically, because I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, like the fun is like not knowing what to expect and what you're supposed to get out of it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's like someone giving you a present and then telling you what's inside. It's kind of like, why'd you wrap it? You know, like, I don't want to know those things. Just give me a general profile of, you know, I can, if it's something like a, you know, a sun-grown, like that Rocky Patel sun-grown Maduro, like I can expect that to be strong. I can expect that to be rich. I can expect, you know, A, B, and C from just that wrapper in general, because that's kind of the general profile of that wrapper. So I don't really want to know what some other guy said it tastes like, because that's the other issue, is everyone's palate's different. You know, my definition of rich and maybe something smooth, which is what I would describe like a, you know, a Liga number 9. Could be someone's definition of just too strong, like too much.
Yeah, too
you know? And then you're getting down into the, like, everyone's palate's different, and then you have a very small section of the population that has like what they call super palates, which can taste all those minute weird notes that they're saying in these reviews. But the problem is that's such a small portion that most of these people are gonna, you know, they're gonna read that and then they're gonna be looking for it, like you were talking about, and then they're not gonna get it. Like, they either will get it or they won't. And if they won't, they're gonna be like, well, this is crap. It doesn't taste like anything but a cigar. And I mean, that could just be a newer smoker, you know, who hasn't had like sort of the spectrum of wrappers and blends and stuff to know what's going on. Or it could be like a guy like you and I, where what they said you can expect, I didn't get any of that. Yeah. So, but retrohaling has a lot to do with it, because when you just puff on it, you're only using a fraction of your taste buds when you retrohale, which is, like I've explained before, like you exhale that smoke through your nose. You're not inhaling it, but you're blowing the smoke out of your nose. You're getting activating a lot more of your taste buds, and you're using more of your olfactory system. And you'll be amazed at how much flavor comes out of a cigar. It does take practice. It does burn. It is, you know.
Yeah, but I think people also have it in their mind it's way worse than it really is. You know, I don't retro inhale a lot simply because, especially this time of the year, I get bad sinuses, and it's going to irritate my sinuses to the point where I'm going to get pretty bad postnasal drip. That's just me, but I still retro inhale because I just don't do it a lot, because I want all that. You know, it's
almost like a different cigar. Yeah, it's amazing when someone told me that, and I was like, yeah, right, I did it, and I was like, oh, like then it made sense. Yeah, you know, especially if you're doing it with something sort of complex, like something like a T52. which I don't know about you guys, but it's part of that confirmation bias. Someone was like, yeah, they kind of taste like banana. And like when you retrohale it and you think about it, like it is like oddly, there is like a banana, like almost like a peppery banana kind of thing going on with it.
Yeah.
Or at least there was at one point. It could have just been that batch or that year or whatever, but
Yeah, it's almost like a Hefeweizen. For those of you who drink beer, there's a lot of Hefeweizens that are almost, I don't want to say citrusy, but they definitely have like a banana-y-ness to them, if that's even a word. And a lot of people don't pick up on it because they're not focusing on the flavor at hand. They're just thinking, oh, this is a good beer, And I'm not a big beer guy. I'm not an IPA guy. Like I'm not a craft beer guy, but like I try to pick up on the minute notes of things, probably from smoking cigars. And like now that I'm thinking about it, right now is when it's getting a little warm. Right now is when I would expect the bitterness to come in, but because it's such a good Connecticut, I'm not getting that yet. But I am getting, and this is one of those funky ones that I'm getting like, when you get the mixed nuts like around Christmas time, I'm getting Brazil nut. Like I still have the creaminess, but I'm getting Brazil nut, which is because I feel like that's not like it's not sweet. It's almost burnt a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I also find that, if you're doing something while you're smoking, you're not paying attention to the flavors, and you're really like, I find myself doing that all the time where I'll be at work and I'll be watching something or I'll be doing something on the computer, like working on the magazine or whatever. And I'll smoke and you don't really taste anything when you're just not focusing on it. But as soon as you stop and you take a puff, you're like, oh, like you almost, I don't know. It's just funny how your brain sort of turns that off and on. Kind of like when you're watching TV for an extended period of time and like everything around that TV just sort of like disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not until you break that concentration that you realize that you literally could, like, your mind just saw the screen and nothing else around it.
Right. It's tunnel vision, or in the case of like when we're smoking, it's reverse tunnel vision. You're focusing on other things and not the actual task that you're supposed to be enjoying per se. And like Colgan's saying about whiskey, and like whiskey, I think is way more subjective than cigars because you're actually tasting it. But there's so many people that either just drink whiskey quick, or they don't. I don't want to sound like a fucking snob, but they don't know how to really drink whiskey, so they're not harnessing all the goodness that can come out of it.
Like wine.
Like wine, yeah.
Yep.
Like wine. So, what I think is crazy is when Dan sends pictures of him, driving his truck for work with a Stogie and a Monster. I love it. I love it. It's great. Miguel says Wildemir. I don't know that one.
I'm not a big beer guy.
Yeah, I have my choice things.
I mean, I really, outside of Daytona, like I really don't drink. I'll have a beer like every now and then, like very rarely I'll have a beer at work. But like liquors and stuff, I'm kind of, I don't know. I just like the wedding. I had a little bit at the wedding, not much. I had like a drink.
Yeah, but you also, you're not, how do I phrase this? You had enough drink at the wedding to be sociable, to relax, but you didn't drink stupid because you wanted to be part of your wedding. You wanted to remember
it. Yeah.
You wanted to remember it. You wanted to socialize and mingle with everyone and make the rounds, And that's the best part.
I mean, I really did, and honestly, I was completely content sitting down and smoking there in the little smokers corner at the cigar table the entire night.
You did a good amount.
I would have just parked my ass in a seat and sat there the entire night, and been fine with that.
Yeah, and Ryan Cox puts a good thing too. Is coffee is a big one, and like coffee is in the same realm.
Have you seen the flavor wheels for coffee?
It's atrocious, but
let me give everyone an idea of what you're kind of dealing, like what we're talking about as far as like cigars too.
Yeah.
Like they have flavor wheels for cigars, but they're not nearly as insane as coffee ones. Flavor Flav, of course, is the first thing that comes up.
Of course. But just going while you find that, just going off the coffee too is like I love coffee. I love all different types of coffee. I don't care if it's the most atrocious bitter thing you've ever had, or it's literally just like coffee flavored milk. You know, I love all different coffees, and I pull a lot of notes of coffee out of tobacco, and I think for me they definitively go hand in hand.
Look at this nightmare. So this is kind of like what I was talking about though. Like it has like you have your main flavors, and then it kind of breaks down even further from that. But cigars, I feel like aren't even anywhere close to this.
No.
I mean, some people may say they are. I don't think they are. So when I talk about like giving some people notes, I'm talking about sticking in like this main, like savory spice, nuts, sweet and sugary, chocolatey, dried fruit is another big one in cigars. Citrus, floral, you know, earthy, that's a big one. So like the main ones, like all these other little ones around the outside, I could care less about because there's a very good chance I'm probably not going to taste those, and neither are you. Unless you're just one of those people that has a very sensitive palate and can pick up on those things. But yeah, this is just insane. It's like I don't know.
I also think that, by the way, Mr. Poole, you are completely correct. Bourbon neat, the best. I also think that the same way that people say, "Oh, you're a smoker, you can't smell this," you know. Yeah, I'm sure there is sensory, you know, diminishment because of smoking, but I feel like the way that we pick up, for lack of a better synonym, the notes of the tobacco is the same way that they pick up the notes of the coffee or the food or whatever it is that they're into, because they're selective. They're thinking about, they're looking for it, you know.
Red wine from a cardboard box.
Hey man, some of the best wine are boxed.
The Brad said he was watching Feely's channel before he had Paul McIntyre on. He said he gets as fired up as Cody. We should get him on, which he was on recently. He was on like episode 60.
Yeah, he was.
Because I think that was like the episode that we didn't even have anything like planned. And then Paul, and then we got Cody, and then we got Scott, and then I love getting like it's fun to just let Paul go. Like bring him on, bring up like mention a name and just let him go.
Unleash the hounds.
That's right. Whoops. And Cody. I mean, Cody's rants are great too. So
Colgan says, I got another 10 hours of work. That's a lot of smokes, man.
A lot of snow.
It's a lot of, he did have a lot of snow. I saw that.
Wait, we're sitting here talking about alcohols and stuff, and Ben works at a brewery, if I'm not mistaken. With that magnificent beard of his.
Which one? Are we publicly saying that or no?
Ben Frames.
No, I meant which brewery.
Oh, I don't know. I want to, like, we said something about White Claw one night, and he was like, yeah, we make that. So maybe one of the bigger ones.
Okay.
Honestly, not sure. I'm sure maybe Ben will chime in, but.
So my employer has been kind enough to buy snacks and drinks for my shop since COVID started. And it's awesome. Him and his wife are fantastic. And when they go, he has a Restaurant Depot card because he does a lot of cooking and stuff and used to own restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes and gets like the big thing of Coca-Cola. He gets the big thing of water and juices and all kinds of stuff, coffee. And he had a thing of White Claw. And I caught him. I was like, I see that White Claw in the back seat. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, dude, it's delicious.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
He is taller than you, Justin, and bigger than you. And it's hilarious to see this large man with this teeny little can. He's like, this seltzer's delicious. You know?
He said Guinnessy. So they do Mike's and Seagrams.
Nice. I do enjoy me some Seagrams.
I have the whole like seltzer thing. I can't. I mean, I'm not a fan of like LaCroix. Katie loves LaCroix, but she's also white, so of course she does. And just like that, just like salt water with a White Claw's the Zima remake. That's
It
actually
is
not that
not. Zima
far
is
off.
so much better than White Claw. Sorry, Ben, but Zima is delicious.
He said White Claw is
Smirnoff.
gross. So
Smirnoff is a knockoff of the Zima. There, I said.
Four Loko,
Oh,
worst
God.
experience of my life.
No, I got one better.
Four Lokos are so bad, dude.
This is before Four Locos was a thing. I was fending the Columbia show with Jay Eaton, and he's like, "Hey man, why don't you go down to the gas station and get us some beer?" So like I walk down. That's like a motel, like strip mall motel. And I walk down to the corner where the gas station was, and I get like a 6-pack of Yingling or something normal. And they had in Colombia, you guys have 40s. We're not allowed to have 40s in Florida.
Yep.
We have like 32 ounces or whatever.
Really?
There's no 40s.
39.9 ounces.
Something like that. And there was King Cobra malt liquor.
King Cobra.
And at the time,
Well,
Jay
you
had
can still get that down here everywhere. You can go to any gas station and get King Cobra.
At the time, Jay actually had a bunch of King Cobras. And I got us 2 bottles, 2 40s. And I was like, when in Rome, we're at a snake show, South Carolina. And it was the most disgusting liquid I've ever put in my mouth on purpose.
Dude, when I worked for Budweiser, that was one of ours, and I had to stock the shelves on it, and the amount that we sold was just ridiculous. And I mean, I guess that's one of those things where it's like, if you want to get as drunk as possible for as cheap as possible, that's the that's the route to go. I don't know why it sold as well as it did. Ben said they don't make 40s anymore.
Oh, well, there you go. This was a long time ago. So
Yeah, we still have them here.
I gotta find a picture of it because it's just that good. King Cobra malt liquor. King Cobra malt liquor near me.
Apparently other people want it too.
Ugh.
Oh, he said not the 40, the King Cobra.
Oh, okay.
40-ounce Old English was my very first beer, Vic said.
Oh, here it is.
I had Four Loko one night, and I just remember I was so tired and I wanted to go to sleep, but because of the caffeine, I couldn't fall asleep. I just had that buzz, like when you have caffeine, you try to go to sleep, but there's just like that sort of that just constant like going on in your brain, and it was horrible, dude. It was a nightmare.
And that's not even like this is like some new logo.
Show the old one there.
I'm trying to find the old one.
Old ad. Is that Billy D? Oh no, he did the Colt 45. That's like wannabe Billy D. Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
It's so horrible. Oh my God, look at this. And they got the whitest guy possible to do that. Oh, that's great. That's great.
I mean, it's almost a disgrace to King Cobras all over the world.
It is. Unless you're talking about ones that are spitting with a rattle and 40 feet long and Pat Morita's trying to fight them away. Oh man, this show just spiraled tonight in so many directions.
Anyways, on to the topic of reptiles. I'm ready to breed some corns. I'm way more excited about that whole. Here's a project. Like I don't know about you.
Yes.
But I absolutely hate the word project when it comes to breeding plans, but there's no other word for it that I can find that works.
No, but that's the thing is it is a project. It's no different than if you're going to do a model airplane or you're going to paint your house. It's a project.
I know, but it just
what bothers me, and there's no other word. We've taken the word I'm about to say. We've taken this word and we've unilaterally used it to define successful breeding to have the female produce offspring that is viable. and that is the word produce. Oh, you produce that clutch of Gila monsters. Oh, you produce that litter of Jackson's chameleons. And
that's in that same ballpark
it
as
kills
project.
me. Yeah, well, yeah, because you didn't produce it. You didn't birth it out of your cloaca. You know what I mean? So, like,
some of us might have. There's lizard people out there.
There is lizard people out there drinking Colt 45.
King
Cobra malt liquor. So I wish we had a better word than produce.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like project wells, it's become so normalized. It's hard to pick out.
And that's the thing. I catch myself saying it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like I hate the word boss. Like if you're using it as like, oh man, that's really boss. Like as a slang, okay, that's cool. But for me to say, oh, my boss is over there on the phone, I hate that. It drives me crazy. I always say employer because he employs me. You know what I mean?
See, I'm the opposite. I hate it when people use it as slang like that, and I don't mind using it for employer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like a boss is bossy, and like my boss is not bossy. He's awesome. So like, he's my employer. I think it's also way more professional to say employer, especially if you're speaking to clients or customers. But there's no other way to get around the word produce. And like, I feel like the project, I understand how you feel about the whole project thing, but it is a project. You've mapped out a series of events that you intend to initiate to conclude in a desired result, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't produce those eggs.
That's the word, because there's no other easy way to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no other word for it. Just like the whole project thing. Like I think the project terminology just sort of gives it like you were saying, like a model airplane sort of feel. Like you're not dealing with living things. It's just.
Yeah, but you still are. You know, it's
sort of
no
an
different.
Impersonal. I don't know. I've always just hated that.
It's no different than someone who's breeding livestock or hoof stock. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're a dairy farmer doesn't mean you don't have a side project revolving around livestock.
Right. I don't know. People get. I've been guilty of it. You know, you get baby snakes, whatever. You know, baby rhino rats, and you're like, man, I'm so excited about this project, and then you end up losing those rhino rats. They escape.
Yeah, but rhino rats aside, like, it was still a project you were planning on doing.
Yeah, it was. Like, I'm not disagreeing there. I don't know.
You wish there was a better synonym.
I wish there was a better word for it. Yeah. It's just like what we were talking about earlier with the whole like facility thing.
What do you mean?
Like people, I don't think you saw it because you were at work or something, I guess. But talking about like people who do like YouTube videos and they're like, this is our facility tour, and it's like literally a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Like, this is my facility. Like, I mean, technically, sure, but it just makes me laugh. It's like, to me, like P and Cody's, like that's a facility because.
Okay, but now
that one's a little tough. I will say that.
Yeah. And now
I do live there, but
all right. So wait. So let's dissect that slightly, because I agree that P and Cody have a facility, but I would not consider the snake collection a facility.
You want to take a ride on my magic carpet?
What?
It looks like I'm wearing a turban.
All right. Yes, it does. But okay. Anyway, but the rat barn and the crocodiles are definitively a facility, hands down. But I feel like the animals that are in their home is the collection, right?
Well, I think the whole thing's the collection. It's just a matter of like how it's set. Like my room in my house, in the 3rd bedroom, I do not consider it a facility. It is just it's just my room. It's my snake room. That's it. Yeah. Like a facility, in my opinion, insinuates that it's just like its own, like almost like a zoo. Like they have their facilities. Like they have like it's a thing that has all the things that a facility, like I just associate it like professionally.
Yeah. It's its own entity. It's offsite from the state of location. It has its own amenities, and Okay. Yeah.
But then you got the guys, like I said, they have like a 1-bedroom apartment. They're like, here's a facility tour. Like, this is my microwave. And then next to it is this V70 rack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just makes me giggle. It really, it's inconsequential and doesn't matter, but just makes me
True.
laugh.
That's true.
Because, I mean, in the technical sense, like I said, it is a facility, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up, but part of me wants to like look up Merriam-Webster like definition of facility. You know what I mean? But irrelevant.
Because don't they in that like another room for like a bathroom? Like where are your facilities? Is that, or is it faculties? I think it's facilities.
It is facilities. That's a homonym. Or is that just slang for bathroom?
I don't know. But the corn project.
Yes.
I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it ends up like me just giving away all those babies. Because
Nah.
they're just corns.
Yeah, they're gonna go great.
Like
they're gonna look
like,
great.
It's special to me, and I think maybe that's part of it that I like so much. Is like to everyone else, they're normal corns, like South Carolina corns.
Yeah, still.
But to me, it's like these are corns from home. You know, these are like corns from my backyard in a sense.
Did I show you my new corn?
I don't think so.
Oh, here it is. This is a Miami phase caught in, drumroll please, Miami.
Ooh, that is nice.
And I don't like Miami phase at all. I prefer what you have. I prefer like South Carolina Okatee, you know, sharp blacks, checkerboard belly. But I got this guy because Marcus caught him in Miami. Marcus is like, you want a corn snake? And I said, yeah, of course. And he's grown on me. He's grown on me.
That is a nice one. No, it's, you know, it's funny. Like Miami's, like I associate Miami's. Ben, I'll keep you in mind, buddy. He said he wants normal corns, or as long as they're legal, like no Georgia sales. And it always cracks me up. I see corn snakes on Savannah Craigslist. And it's like,
yeah.
But Miami corns, like I remember when I was a kid, and my dad and I were mostly my dad was breeding corns. Like Miami's being just those silver background with just like burgundy red saddles.
Yeah, and I think that this one is going to darken up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very, very light for Miami. But what I think is crazy is like when you're in Dade and Broward County.
I love that tone of orange on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's
when you're in Dade and Broward County, you can get both types, which is awesome. So like I've been on one road. It's literally like maybe 3 miles long, and I've found both color phenotypes on the same road. And like it's crazy to me that it makes you wonder if the for lack of a better word, crossbreeding is irrelevant, and they're all going to have mixed up clutches, or if it's the Miamis only really hang out with the Miamis, you know?
Right. I don't know. I mean, so I have 4 corns that are all wild caught. 3 of them came from the island I live on. Like 2 came from my parents' property. 1 came from their neighbor's property. Like I know exactly where these corns came from, like where they were literally picked up. And then I have one that's from the other side of town. That's that really nice one that is just getting better and better every shed. That one came from like the mainland part. So I'm on one of the barrier islands, which is one of the things about the corns here that I'm like is super interesting to me. Is just all the barrier islands we have. You get a lot of variation in phenotype and stuff across those islands. And like 2 of those corns that came from Ladies Island that came from my parents' property, they look very similar. And then there's another one that's considerably darker than those that also came from my parents. Like, I mean, we're talking about literally a difference of like 30 yards.
Really?
You know, so I mean, obviously you're gonna have a lot of movement and stuff, but like in those areas, you're gonna have snakes moving around and stuff. But it's just interesting that there's some that have like there's one like the big female that I've had for the last like 5+ years. It's funny, I actually sold her to a local shop, and then when I went back to that local shop like 2 months later, she was still there, and I ended up buying her back.
Nice.
And I still have her, and I've had her for a solid 5 years. She's ready to go. And she's like this sort of not necessarily classic Okatee, but she is definitely like that higher orange, sort of brighter, less contrast sort of deal going on. But then there's that other one that is darker. And I remember we had an Okatee when I was a kid and I use like the thing with Okatee too is that also gets kind of thrown around very loosely. Like Okatee to me is a normal corn.
Right.
Like I know some people just say normals. I know that some people say if you're going to say Okatee, it needs to come from the Okatee region, which isn't far from me either. But we had an Okatee when I was a kid that was just dark, like not mahogany, but like how a like a darker stained wood desk looked. That brown color. And I have yet to see a corn like that one, man. But that was just, I remember as a kid, like that. It was super calm. It was like a super chill snake too. And so her name was Lucy, and I had that snake out all the time because she was just super mellow and she was just freaking gorgeous. And like I said, I haven't found any since, but I do I look at stuff like that, and then I look at what I have, and like instantly the gears get turning about like outcrossing other localities to that, to the local ones here. But at the same time, that's kind of the nice thing about having multiple animals is like I could do that. Like I could set aside a pair and do that outcross thing, and then I could continue to do the the pure quote unquote locality stuff. And I'm interested to see what comes of that over the next 10 years or whatever. Pending that nothing disastrous happens, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Assuming I'm still going to be doing corns and stuff over that span of time, like seeing what happens year to year. Line breeding and stuff like that. And Dan asked if the Okatee Hunt Club is still a thing. It is not. That property is still out there, but pretty sure all the property in Jasper County, which is where that's at, is pretty much privately owned. So I don't know if you could even get out there anymore. I've definitely thought about seeing if there's a way, like finding whoever owns it and seeing if there's a possibility of going out there just to look around, like not even to collect anything, but I think it just because that place has so much history,
I'm surprised. They always places like that. I feel like even if the property gets sold, like let's say it's 500 acres, okay, and the original hunt club house is on 3 acres, they'll have like historical societies and stuff go in and like they'll basically buy out like the 10 acres that the house is on or the barn is on, make it a historical site, and then you at least get to save those 10 acres, and they get a tax write-off and shit, So
yeah, because it's nuts how like back in the the 60s and stuff, just how big of a deal, like how popular that place was with people all over the country coming just for the corn snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see, because the Loves used to have a picture of when they took a trip out there, and it's funny because you can still go to that same intersection, and that one building that they had a picture of has changed into like a million different restaurants since then.
Really?
It's still there. This is like early 2000s, I think, that he was there. I don't know. This Corn Utopia website, dude, it hasn't changed since like 2001. I love it. She hasn't updated her website since 2018 as far as availability. That's pretty funny.
Damn.
Corn Utopia. That was another. I remember reading that book, man. I don't even remember the name. What was the name of it? It was the blue cover. Damn it. I remember Blood Reds too when I was a kid. That was another morph that stood out to me. And that was a big one my dad was into. I don't know. I don't see it on here anymore. It's probably somewhere if I dug deep enough, but South Carolina is the best corn snakes in the world, damn it. Anybody who says otherwise we can fight about it.
Throw down. I mean, dude, all the different types of corns I've found in Florida, nothing beats an Okatee, man, in my eyes. Dude, that is like the textbook definition of corn snake.
Yeah, and I think it goes, back to that, those old days of Okatee being such a big thing. Like that's what made them what they are. Like that's what, if it weren't for that, I don't know that they ever would have taken off as much as they did. But
it's my first snake.
See if I can find to give anybody who may not be familiar with sort of what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull some stuff up.
I'm looking right now and seeing if I can find one that I know for sure is like a South Carolina, like.
Okay. Yeah, I just remember being a kid and like I wasn't allowed to have snakes, and my mom got me a book, and it was like one of those. You guys don't know Florida's fabulous because not everyone lives in Florida. It was basically a cartoon picture book of different snakes of the U.S. And like it had the cartoon of like the farmer standing there holding the indigo and by the middle of the body. It's as long as he is, and it had the garter snakes, all stuck together and intertwined like Indiana Jones. And then there was the corn snake, and the cartoon was an Okatee with that checkerboard belly. And I was like, man, that's so cool. Like corn snakes. Ugh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, here's the good. I mean, this is from Dan Parker's website, but I mean, that's a pretty good, corn snakes originating from the vicinity of the Okatee Hunt Club in Jasper County, South Carolina, are famous for the bright coloration and bold patterns. In fact, many enthusiasts consider the nicest examples of the ideal corn snake. After a glance at the examples from our breeding colony, it would be hard to argue otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that is a red rat snake. Like that's it.
And this one right here, this is awesome. Very reminiscent of that one that I have that came from. Yeah. It didn't come from Jasper, but it came from a spot actually not far, like closer from that mainland one I have. That one's very similar to that, like especially with that black.
Yeah, that sharp
black
marker.
Saddles toward the end. That snake has like completely blacked out saddles on that last like third of the tail. Mm-hmm. Whether it'll keep that or not, I hope it does because it looks really cool. But yeah, like that right there. Like that's that's what I think of. Maybe not the highlighter orange, but just that dark burnt. And
dude, that picture is famous, man. I love that picture.
I don't know. I may have to talk to Dan about that and see if he knows somebody over there. Like I said, I don't want to collect nothing. It'd just be cool to go over there and look around. And clearly he knows somebody because he's been there. But
yeah,
that's just, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't get any better than that. Like as far as like the morphs and stuff are cool and all. I love tesseras, but give me this. Like habit lines. Natural. Just I don't want nothing else.
Yep. Dude, like I see animals like that, and all I want to do is have like a foot enclosure with actual saw palmetto growing in there, and just like the sandy soil, and
Well, that's what I was talking about that in the group chat the other day. Like it'd be really cool to set up, like the Edisto Serpentarium has a display. And it's like an old barn. Like they made it like look like it has these old rusty like farm tools, and it has like old like shiplap, like old wood, like legit like, reclaimed, and like sand and some pine needles and like bits of corn and stuff in there. And it's a rat snake cage, and it looks so like literally they did such a good job of making it look like the inside of an old barn, like an old abandoned shed or something. And I was like that, like, see, like something like that I would recreate for corn snakes.
Oh yeah.
I would love to do that. And like the desert thing we were talking about with Baird's,
yep.
It's just a matter of space and figuring out how to do that with, PVC and stuff.
It's doable, man. It's totally doable.
It's entirely doable. It's just, but they had like old tin cans and stuff in there too. Like it looked, awesome. It's so cool how they did it. And it's so simple. Like it's not anything over the top fancy. It wouldn't be hard to do, but next time, me and Jake need to plan a trip to go there again when it warms up. They close for the winter, but definitely want to go there again. I actually was gonna email somebody and see if they would let me do like a behind the scenes thing and do an article in the magazine about it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Dude, it's just like, it goes back to like, I don't want to say patriotism, but like, it's classic Americana, like the vintage South, agriculture, and the red rat snake. It's awesome. But
I think that's now that you mention that, I think that is kind of part of the appeal to me with Subox and Baird's and the Southwest Texas stuff, is like sort of that history in herpetoculture of those, and how it's still like road cruising Southwest Texas. I don't know if you read The Dragon Traders yet by Michael Berger. It's like the history of herpetoculture basically. And there's sections of that book that talk about like the Okatee Hunt Club has its own page or two. And then there's talk of like all the spots in Texas that at one time back in the 60s and 70s were super popular, and so to me, I think maybe it's it's part of that sort of like historical species of like, this is what helped shape the hobby, that maybe is something that draws me to it.
Absolutely.
And corns, that, and the fact that it's sort of like a nostalgia thing for me, going back to when I was a kid and, helping my dad and pulling eggs and, the hours spent in our garage, doing that stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just like corns. It's just like I've said before, it's balancing out the complicated sort of little more stressful projects with the simple ones. The Gonyosoma, like that's going to be a little stressful. It's nice to have a project like the Bairds and the Corns where I don't really have to worry about anything going wrong with those. Like if they go wrong, it's because it was meant to go wrong from the beginning. Like those eggs just weren't meant to make it.
Sure.
It's kind of hard to jack those up. I firmly believe in sort of outweighing the sort of the hardcore stuff, like have the challenging projects, but also have something that is like you can actually kind of just kick back and let your hair down and sort of just enjoy it. Which
sure.
Obviously you enjoy the challenging projects too, but to have something that, I take comfort in having something that I don't have to stress over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeff, I have very much thought about expanding into the garage. That is a losing battle with the wife. We are still in negotiation phases, and the negotiations are breaking down. I've been trying to get a converted garage before we even bought a house. I decided to start that battle early. Still losing.
At least you're trying. Fighting the good fight.
It's like this is like the perfect space because I can still have. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be able to smoke in here anymore, but like I can have everything in here, but still have the podcast stuff.
You can still smoke. Just get a blower fan. You're fine.
I'd get one of those smoke eaters before I did that, but I mean that it wouldn't be difficult. It would just be a lot of insulation. I'd have to have outlets added. I'd have to have HVAC run to here, which wouldn't be hard either. Henry said it's not projects, it's breedings.
That is true.
Henry, you smart ass.
No, but I mean, think about it though. He is right. I mean, Henry comes from the show dog world, and like
he old.
Oh man, Henry's gonna buy all your baby corns at wholesale and freeze them for food.
If I have Henry Martinez message me asking for corn snakes, I'm automatically just going to say no because I know there's alternative ulterior motives.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, Vic, that's awesome too about the baby alterna. That's a big.
Yeah, man. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Having been down that road myself, that shit ain't no fun.
Yeah, what's that?
Say Mike Cameron said my Bairds are probably the easiest snakes ever. Been cutting the mice for them. I don't know if it's making a difference, but it can't hurt.
Mike drank the Kool-Aid.
It must be delicious.
Must be delicious.
I want more, man. Like you showed that picture earlier, that black rack that was sitting on top of that white rack, that ain't nothing but Baird's, man. And then like 2 of those 5 slots in the rack below that are Baird's. And then if you looked at my hatchling rack, which you couldn't see in the picture over to the left, that's got another like 6 Baird's in it. Like it's getting real.
Yeah. And dude, Colgan's saying that, he's got those stimmies. And dude, I can't imagine what he's going through with them stimmies, man. I just can't. Like, oh, that's a fear of mine. Like that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why I don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have. I mean, I've got patience for baby snakes, 100%, but I don't have the patience for baby Antaresia. So, tip of the hat to you, sir.
Yeah, my days of Antaresia are over. I've just sworn them off. Just, I love them, but just no desire.
Yeah, they're awesome. Just I can't.
Vic too. The silver bullet for alternate babies for me was, I believe it's just a fence lizard. I actually ended up getting some lizards from a guy out in Texas that we got an alternate from. He sent us a handful of live, like some animals, some I think it's some these either fence lizards or swifts. I don't know exactly what species it was. But dude, those fence lizards, man, holy crap. You want to talk, it's just like the chick down with the chondros. Like it was a complete switch had flipped. Like animals that hadn't eaten in weeks, like all of a sudden it was like they'd been doing it the entire time. It was crazy. So if you can hunt down like a fence lizard or something similar, that really did the trick. I got almost all of them eating like immediately, first try. So little tidbit. Dorothy Lapis.
Yes. Yes.
Because I have the hog noses too, and that's another one that they're just normal hogs, and I'm a little more excited about that than I probably should be too. But
dude, normal hogs are awesome, and no one has them. That's the best part. You're gonna pair them up?
No, they probably got another year. My females.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're older, like age wise, they're probably old enough. But that female, I don't. Like we were talking about with Rob, I don't feed the shit out of my stuff. So
yeah,
she's smaller than she ought to be.
I was telling Henry I want to get these baby rinks under my belt. Excuse me. And like I've had rinks before, but this is definitely, I put the feelers out to a couple people. This is definitely next on the radar because I can't just have the 2 I have. I have to have more. But like it's got to be jet black, just like this one. How awesome is that animal?
It's almost like it's wearing a tuxedo.
It is. It's formal. It's very formal. But like, dude, I want
dinner attire.
What's that?
That's its dinner attire.
It's definitively black tie. Like, but I want the grassland savanna setup. I want the background that has like, the savanna trees and like silhouettes of animals in the distance and herds. And I want that majestic bastard right in the middle of the cage.
Talk to Cody. They had a ton of rinks.
I know.
I know he had like those sort of concrete gray and black banded ones, but I can't imagine he doesn't have a couple of those sort of solid ones like that floating around somewhere.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, why I didn't message Cody? Is because I was afraid that he would, and he'd be like, "Yeah, man, whenever you're ready." And I'm like,
Saving you from yourself is what you're doing.
I was saving myself from myself. So
that I can understand.
Yeah. Oh, so well, sir, it's 2 hours, and I am actually cold. So
right.
I actually have basketball shorts on with flip flops, which is probably not a smart idea.
Our 20 minutes of actual snake and reptile talk this episode.
It was a good episode. I enjoyed tonight.
Anyways, the show was brought to you by Puget Sound Pythons. Please check them out. Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Sir Jeff of Puget Sound Pythons is in the chat right now.
He is.
Don't
Thank you again.
Subscribe anywhere podcasts can be found.
Yes.
YouTube. Follow the page if you're watching it from there. Hit the follow button, like button, whatever the button is this week.
And since you're already on YouTube, you might as well just go over to Venomous Etiquette Videos.
Yes.
Don't forget to watch the most recent episode 1 on entering the snake room.
When are we getting number 2?
Well, I'm going to do a lot of filming this week and then probably do some editing next week. So maybe the week after. I really don't have a schedule just because it's like a side project, you know? Everyone's telling me like, oh man, success with YouTube is, you know, consistently posting, you know, and I can't, I don't have time, you know? So
it is time consuming, man.
Yeah. And like
a lot of work.
Doing the hardest part is not editing the videos, it's doing the voiceovers because I'm shooting a lot of stuff in first person and like because I want people to see it as if how I see it so that they can see it how they see it. You know what I mean? And like what it's going to look like for them. So like if I'm holding hemostats in my hands, I don't want to be in front of the camera and be like, this is how you hold hemostats. No, I want them to see from a right-handed and a left-handed point of view what it looks like to actually hold it in your hands. So like I have to articulate in the voiceover because I can't everything at the same time.
Right.
You know? And that's the hardest part is doing the voiceover with the video and then cutting up the audio. That's the hard part. But we're doing it, man. We're doing it.
Oh, so. I totally meant to send you those pictures of that cyanea and that Baird's earlier, and I sent them to Danielle by accident.
We'll send them now. We'll throw them up right now. We'll keep us
I was like, what? I was like, he completely like ignored that. I was like,
no, I didn't get it.
You never got them because I wouldn't send them to you. Jesus.
We'll send them now. Let's see.
I am. So that's cyanea. This is the Baird's.
Oh my God. The wind just picked up. It is so cold right now. I have basketball shorts like an asshole. Good night, Dan. Oh, and Miguel, you're too kind, sir. Too kind.
Mentor me, Dorothy Lapis.
Why do you gotta say it like
That's
that?
Gotta be a shirt.
Oh my God.
Mentor me, Dorothy Lapis. I'm gonna get
like
Adeline to draw a picture of you in like a Sith Lord. But instead of the lightsaber, it'll be a snake hook. That would be awesome. That's gotta happen.
Oh God!
I will do a freaking GoFundMe to make that happen.
Oh Jesus! Did you send them?
Yeah.
Aha! There it is. There it is.
Dude, it's crazy how like velvety those cyanea babies look after they shed.
Oh my God, dude! Look at that baby. That is awesome.
Look at how soft my hands look.
Look how soft your hands look.
I don't use lotion or nothing. They're just naturally soft.
Hold on, I messed that up. Hang on.
Totally doing that. And then I'm finding a way to make a shirt of it.
We still need the Rob Stone ones, man.
That's
gotta happen.
Or we can do like the Pulp Fiction thing, but it's us holding like snake hooks and it says "Say Project Again, motherfucker."
Yes. 100%. 100%. I want that. That's great.
So that's the new Baird's. It's a boy.
Nice.
Very nice.
Like
Got a lot of he has a very high like coppery color in the saddles.
Yeah.
And a lot of copper in the eyes too, which I think is interesting. So I have no locality information on, and I've got nothing on that. So unfortunately, he's just a Baird's. But he's a good looking one at that. And his tail's a little funky on the end. I don't know what happened, but
like it's kinked or
I don't know. I'll have to see if I can take a close up of it. It's just odd. Like there was some damage to it or something at one point, but that shit will buff out.
Yeah. But dude, that's just so cool.
And I love the banding on him too.
That,
just that irregularist looking.
Now, how long before they lose all that green or all that red? Excuse me.
It takes a while. I think my adults it was something like maybe in that year. You know, it's it's odd because they get this very, I'd say even it's hard to describe. It's almost like a gray color as they switch. Like the whole thing's a very odd transition to begin with when you go from orange to, just like with chondros too. But with these, it's like instead of just, they get like the spots of green that eventually just sort of expand and take over. Like these, it just like sort of muddies into this weird brownish, grayish hints of green. Like it's odd. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's almost a transitional fading, almost like the Gaijis, the black milks.
I guess I would.
Every time it sheds, there's more and more black with them. I feel like with these, is every time it sheds, it's more and more green, or
kind of. I'm interested to know. I mean, the first thing I think of when I see that is they're in the trees, so that body blends in with the wood and the sticks, and then that head blends in with the leaves. Obviously it looks a little odd to us because out of that natural habitat, it looks just bizarre. But when you put that in the context of like when you see Dan O'Leary's videos of him finding them, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay. Very cool.
Vic sent me a picture of the Chris Eaton as the Jedi thing, and that's awesome.
Nice.
And now I have Alan Stevens.
What did he send you?
Wow, he lost one of his chondros. That sucks.
That sucks.
He said, "Is this the kind of shit you GTP guys go through?" And I was like, "Yep."
Did he just have the one, or?
No, he got like 3 or 4 of them, I think, and he lost one a while back. So I guess now he's down to 2.
Okay.
But
we got to get them back on.
I had a conversation with him the other day. Called him on the phone while I was sick, and oh shit, I feel bad. Austin messaged me and said, "Send me the link. I'll jump in." That was an hour ago. Sorry, Austin.
Whoopsies.
I put my phone on silent so I don't hear it go off.
Yeah, I actually put my phone on silent too, and I keep clicking the side button to like see if I got a missed call or whatever,
Yeah. Now I feel bad.
Well, next time. We love you, Austin.
Because next time we'll be drawing a winner for the raffle to be at the US Art. So, he's right there. Yeah. Yeah, I put my phone on silent because between the group chat and everything else, my phone goes off pretty much constantly all day. So, I put it on silent when we're doing this.
What I think is interesting is when we're doing Snakes and Stogies, the group chat's going crazy, and then I look and it's like Justin said this, Justin said that. I'm like, how did Justin do that? Like I'm watching him. So, all right, I am freezing my knickers off.
All right, Dorothy Lapis, everybody.
Good night.
Episode 62.
Snakes and Stogies.
Good luck getting rid of all the Jedi.
I'll do my best. I don't know if I ordered 6.
If you were on a planner right now, you'd be on Hoth.
I would. Yeah, it's like I just checked my phone. It's like 48 degrees. I'm like, basketball shorts. Meh. So yes, we will see and or hear all of you Thursday night. Yes.
Episode 110.
110.
I don't even know who we're gonna have yet. I don't have anybody lined up. We'll figure something out.
And check it out. Venomous Etiquette videos on YouTube. Venomous Etiquette videos.
New issue of Herpetoculture magazine is out now. Check it.
Hot drop. That's episode or issue 14 now?
16.
16. Wow, I'm behind.
It's hard to believe it's going by quick.
It is. So, all right, children. Thank you and good night.
See y'all later.
Bye.